Tonight, playing Vera Stark, we have
Shantez Talbert. I'm Vera.
playing Gloria Mitchell,
Rachel Sheffrin.
playing Leroy Boxdale and Herb Forrester,
I have Gareth E. Lawson.
playing Lottie and Carmen Levy Green,
That'll be me, Ray.
playing Anna May and Afua Asada Ejab,
Gabrielle Valetier.
playing Slavic and Brad,
David Moseder.
and playing Maximilian von Oster and Peter Reese.
Ted. What was it?
That is Ted. Is
Ted Thompson.
Ted-
Ted Thompson.
Meet Vera Stark, Act 1, Scene 1. A living room, Deco stylish Hollywood, 1933. Gloria Mitchell, 28, white starlet in a dressing gown, lies across the couch nursing a healthy glass of gin. Vera Stark, 28, an African-American beauty, wearing a maid's uniform, tentatively enters. She pauses, then ventures to speak.
Miss Lafayette here to see you.
Tell him I'm not here. I can't bear to face him. Not like this. Not now. Not after all that had happened.
But he already know you're here. That rascal Cascas then told him.
Well, tell him to go. Tell him I'm sleeping. Tell him anything. I can't. No. I don't want to see him.
He ain't want me to say, but he missing something awful.
Oh, won't you tell him to go already? Wait. Does he look well?
He look real good, miss.
You know he always... Oh. Did he bring azaleas?
You know he always do.
And does he know... Did you tell him I'm dying?
I don't know what he know, but I do know that he here. Since that man out there love you, and if you send him away now, it's gonna be a real shame. You can't keep hiding from the world. Talk to him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him you love him, cause you and I know there ain't no other man in your heart but him.
How do you put up with me?
Miss, what you want me to tell him? What you want me to tell him? What you want me to tell him?
Oh, damn. What the hell am I supposed to say to him? Tell him. Oh. Give me the line already.
Tell him.
Wait. Tell him to remember me on that warm summer
Spring.
day. We went boating on the bayou. I was wearing the blue
Violet.
sweater.
Carnigan.
Oh God, how am I supposed to remember these lines? They just pour out of my head like water. I reach for them and they're gone. It's impossible. I can't do it.
Jen, now let's do it again.
Ugh. The indignity, really. Why should I screen test for this film? I played this role, I practically invented it. Tragic Jane with consumption, Lydia with the hole in her fragile heart. And who can forget poor, stupid little Maybelle, who was slowly being poisoned by the diabolical some husband.
Yes, we know. But honey, this is different. It's Marie, the Belle of New Orleans. I don't have to tell you. Every actress that has a good team wants this role. And believe me, they'll do whatever it takes to get it.
Pussies, I bet they will. Shame on them.
Now come on. Pull yourself together, won't you? And remember what Maestro used to say in New York.
Yeah, the king of pratfall dispenses wisdom like pellets of cyanide.
Then, never mind. I have a half dozen things I could be doing.
Where are you going? Vera! Vera! Vera, okay, wait. Yes, I love him, but I think I can think about it boating on the bayou and how utterly ridiculous that sounds.
Then, Missy, think about the fact that you'll be working with the most important director in pictures.
Important. Von Omelette or whatever his name is. The man barely speaks English. Important? Says who?
Says the people who pay for all of this. The studio, the agent, everyone. But who are they?
Oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear anymore.
I'm not going to argue with you, honey. TikTok is already 1 o'clock.
What? No, it can't be.
TikTok 101.
No, it can't be. Won't you call Alfred and have him put this off until tomorrow? I'm not ready. Tell him I have a fever.
Ready or not, you're due at the studio in an hour, and we hadn't even gotten you dressed yet. Remember what Alfred said, there won't be a next time if you don't show up on time.
You're being very overdramatic. You're making me nervous. I'm feeling faint.
If you're late, don't blame it on me, and I shouldn't really say, oh, nothing. There's just been some talk.
Talk? Who? What are they saying?
I promised myself that I wouldn't.
Oh, don't be coy. Spill it.
Well, it seems people at the studio have been gossiping, and
yes,
they're questioning when, if ever, you'll lose the baby fat.
The nerve of them. I'll have you know, some women wear baby fat well into their 30s.
But it appears you're wearing it rather more comfortably than they'd like.
How dare they? How dare them? Baby fat. I'm not the least bit bothered, but I don't care. I'm America's little sweetie pie. Photoplay called me one of the most beautiful young starlets on the screen.
Yeah, swell article, honey. I remember reading it 5 years ago.
Don't talk to me. Don't you dare talk to me, honestly. I've never told you I'm not wearing the green dress. I wore that to an opening 3 weeks ago and everyone made an awful fuss. It seemed redundant. Oh, bring me the red one already.
The red makes you look coquettish.
Coquettish? Wherever did you learn that word?
Did you read the script?
Of course I did. Well, I read my lines.
If you'd bother to read the entire script, you know that Marie's not supposed to appear coquettish.
Who cares? I think the red says warmth and fire.
Or that you're horny or desperate.
So?
You're playing a dying version.
All the more reason to be horny and desperate, don't you think?
Then do what you like. I'll go fetch the red dress.
Whatever is the matter with you?
How much time you got?
Oh, what are you prattling on about?
Did you
Yes?
mention,
What?
well, the role of Tilly? You said they're casting Tilly the maid, and you know, well, I know the role,
And you know, what are you asking?
you promised you put me in a word with the studio.
Oh, Vera, I have so many things to worry about. Why on earth are you bothering me with this?
Never mind. I'll go fetch the dress.
Oh, boo-hoo. Sometimes it would do you a bit of good to remember the distance you've traveled from there to here.
You'll never let me forget, honey, will you? And you might remember there's a lot I could say about your daddy. My mother's.
Say it already and let's be done with it.
Is that what you really want?
Enough, Vera. I'm tense as it is, and really, no one has ever been 100% sure he was my daddy.
And what exactly does that say about your mother?
Vera Stark, you're wearing fat too much wicked this morning.
Oh, hush your mouth and go on and put on this dress.
I'm feeling rather fragile. Would you mind being a little kinder to me, darling? Friend?
I'm all hugs and kisses. I adore you, really. There. Now, honey, what you want me to tell him?
Tell him to remember me on a warm spring day we went boating on the bayou. I was wearing the violet cardigan that Mammy made. It was a perfect afternoon, as perfect as it could be. And if he remember as a
Scene 2, radio. A flourish of dramatic, suspenseful music. A slightly disheveled bachelorette apartment. Lottie, 20s, a pretty heavy-set brown-skinned woman, meticulously sews labels into men's shirts as she listens to a radio program. Mary Cavendish, don't walk away from me. I know exactly what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you will, but darling, I smelled the wicked scent of deception the moment you walked in here. Does the name Laurel Price mean anything to you? No, don't answer. I will find out the truth soon enough.
Careful, Arthur. She's playing you.
Mary, what are you doing?
Don't trust her.
Why are you pointing that wretched thing at me? Mary, no! Bang!
And that brings down the curtain on this evening's program, brought to you by the gentle, cool, refreshing taste of Gold Country cigarettes, the #1 healthy choice for America's most discerning smokers.
It's over? What did I miss?
It just ended.
Oh, heck. Was it good?
Honey, he finally found out what she was up to and...
Don't tell me. Damn it. Why does something good always happen when I'm late?
Where you been?
Oh, where do you think? At the studio making sure Gloria doesn't piss on herself.
Did you remember to bring my ciggies? How much do I owe you?
Nothing. I pinched them from Gloria.
Thanks, honey.
Hey, Lottie. You're never going to believe what happened. The streetcar got stopped on Central. There was nearly a riot. The police were swarming all over the place. Heard someone say a fella got stabbed at the market. They were plucking Negroes off the streetcar like cotton.
There's always something going on down there. Did they catch him?
I didn't bother to stick around to ask. Got a ride with Dottie's man. You know, the gimpy porter from Sacramento. What's playing? I just love this song. Turn it up.
Only if you want to trade blows with the loudmouth across the hall.
She home?
Yep.
Don't she have any place to go?
I guess someone that evil don't get invited out much. What? Go on, ask.
Did the casting agency call?
Nope.
You sure?
Let me think. Yep. Sorry, honey.
Where is she?
All
Hey.
Oh,
Tonight? Who? He must be something. Looks like you broke out the expensive rags. Let me see.
I beg your pardon. He's a little more than something. Thank you. He's a genuine movie director.
Oh, like the last one?
Oh, go to hell. He's the real deal this time. I met him at the studio on Tuesday. Hussy across the hall has been sitting on my messages. Anyway, I only said yes because he showed up outside in his Duesenberg. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't never seen the inside of a Duesenberg. What you think? Huh?
It's a little snug.
Good. Help me, will you? Hey, Lottie, let me borrow your fox stole.
Hell no. You ain't wearing my stole.
Oh, come on, don't be so damn stingy. I'll loan you my lavender heels.
Them ancient shoes. Nah, ma'am.
Last I'll ask.
No, no, no. And no again. I worked too damn hard for my foxtail. That stole my pinch pennies, and I ain't forget how you made fun of it.
I was kidding. Tell her I was kidding.
No.
Come on. And really, when was the last time you wore the darn thing?
Well, I may never wear it, but that don't mean you will.
Vera.
This is between you two.
I said no.
Vera, honey, can I borrow your coat?
Why don't you buy yourself a dress coat already?
With what money?
The same money I ain't got.
Please, how am I going to go out here without a proper evening coat?
Well, that surely ain't my problem. You should have thought about that while you were spending your money on cigarettes and fan magazines, sugar.
After all I done for you.
All you done for me. Vera, talk to this girl.
Please, Vera, I owe you. Last I'll ask.
Oh, all right. It's in the closet, and don't sweat it up.
Thank you, honey.
I just got it back from the cleaners.
I'll take precious good care of it. I will. You're an angel.
Hey, Anime, before I forget, Gloria is having a dinner party next Saturday, and Beulah's daughter is getting married, so she can't help out. Are you interested in picking up a little something extra for your pocket?
Oh, I'd love to, honey, but I promised Grace I'd take her shift.
How come you didn't ask me?
Because I know how you feel about Gloria.
Ray. She in a dead spot, maybe. Ray.
Well, hello?
You there?
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I've just got in the house. Yeah. That don't mean I won't take her money.
Has anyone seen my jar of cold cream?
No.
Here it comes.
Vera, may I use yours? You won't even notice I took any.
Sure, honey. This hussy's been out every night this week.
You ain't kidding. She's courting trouble and I just lost the sorry guys. Hold on one second. I just lost it. Okay, what page are we on?
Bottom of 15, top of 16.
Thank you very much. Okay. You ain't kidding. She's courting trouble in a permission permanent hangover. Don't tell her I told you, but they gave her another talking to at work.
What's she done?
What you think? She's been shaking her sassy behind around the director's chair.
I said I'll get it.
All right. What's with her?
He don't know she colored.
You're lying.
Am I? Ask her.
Ooh, wait, this has to be the making of a mighty good tragedy.
Only in the movies, sugar. Only in the movies. In real life, one anime Simpkins get to eat clams on a half shell, sip champagne from Cristal, and dance all night to the Starlight Orchestra.
Ask her where she's from.
Rio de Janeiro.
And when he finds out the truth,
He'll have his fingers too deep into this honeypot to let go, just out for a little fun. Don't wait up, girls. I'll fill you in tomorrow morning. Adieu, baby.
One of these days, it's gonna rain real trouble on that girl. There's a half dozen upright Negroes chasing her straight ass hair, and she's dipping into dives and any old fay that'll toss her a nickel.
how does he look?
Horny as hell and up to no damn good.
He old.
Nah, and look at that. He's definitely more refined than her usual pocketbook. I ain't gonna say he's good looking, but he ain't too hard on the eye.
What's he doing?
He's holding the door for her. Oh, God. Oh, God, she's doing that thing she does with her hair. Oh, stop it already and get in the car, will ya? Get in, hussy. Ooh, there they go. What's that you got there?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing you got something there. What? What is it?
Um,
What is it?
nothing epic. Nothing. You know, Gloria's testing for the lead. It's nothing.
Southern Epic.
Yeah.
And just what are you interested in it?
A Southern epic. Magnolias and petticoats. You know what it means. Cotton and slaves.
Slaves with linens? With lines?
Slaves with lines, honey.
Yeah, so is there a part in it for me? Go down, Moses, way down to Egypt and tell old Pharaoh to let my people go.
You can put away the big voice. It's not a musical.
A drama tale? I bet you that's what those gals are whispering about at the market. Sneaky little wenches. I knew they was up to something, a Southern epic. So talk to me, honey. Hello?
Can't hear you. Shay? No. Cannot hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Say it again, please.
Well, it's the story of a beautiful octoroon who falls hopelessly in love with a white merchant. She contacts scarlet fever.
Of course.
And she's dying, but Marcellus pretend not to love the merchant in a selfless attempt to shield him from the truth about her race.
Poor little thing. So why are you keen on it?
Well, not a lot of people know this because they're keeping it real hush-hush, but there's a big role in it for a lady's maid, Tilly, a real good, honest-to-God part.
So why don't you just ask that white hussy of yours to put in a good word for you?
Gloria, it ain't worth the trouble.
Well, if it was up to me, I'd
Well, it
do
ain't.
it. Okay, don't get all bent out of shape. How come I ain't heard nothing about it till now?
I thought you'd given up acting.
Nonsense. Acting gave up on me.
Hell, folks have been lining up at Charles Beach's casting since last week. I swear it. I've been trying to get an audition for days, but he won't see me. He still thinks twice me that spread the rumor about him and Beth Ann.
Well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So what? He had it coming.
You could say that again. Beecher don't send you out on nothing unless you give him a blowjob and $25. And I ain't giving that jackass $25 to do the same thing he doing for me right now. A whole lot of nothing.
You better give him that $25.
Why? So he can buy his mistress another pair of alligator shoes? No, thank you.
Well, sugar, there's work to be had. W-O-R-K. You hear what I'm saying? Work. Every tap dancing fool and two-bit hussy been talking about it. Wake up, honey.
Yeah, I believe it when I see it. How many times have I heard that damn refrain?
Turn up your nose. But I'll put it this way. A couple of the Negroes actually get to say something other than yes 'em and no 'em.
Seriously? You lying. You count the lines?
What you think?
And?
Got tired of counting?
Get out of here.
And Gloria says they want to make a discovery.
Shucks, honey. That ain't even gonna consider nobody like you and me. We've been here too long to be discovered.
Yeah. How did you know?
How do I know? How do I know? You think I came all the way out to Cali to sew labels into cheap shirts? Darling, I was in the Broadway hit Susie Jane. Key East called me the best damn shimmier in all of New York City. I did Blackbirds with Doris Mills, the engagement at the, Alamabra. Sure. Went on for four times. I'm a little blackbird looking for a blackbird. You're a little blackbird getting a little lonesome too.
You were in Blackbirds?
May God strike me down, shucks. I played Juliet for the group of Pullman posters in Chicago and received no less than 2 marriage proposals on closing night. You may not believe this, but I had a slender, pretty figure when I first came out here. Yes, indeed. Had to fight off the fellas. Fight them like old Jake Jefferson. But you gotta be high yellow mellow or look like you crawled out of Mississippi cotton patch to get work in this rotten town. So here I am, or should I say here I is, 7 years later, trying to eat my way into work. Looking like somebody's mammy in the closet. And the closest I've gotten to the pictures is sitting in the back row of the cinema.
You played Juliet.
I played the hell out of her. You ain't seen a death scene until you seen this bitch die on stage. Ugh. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy seat. There rust and let me die.
Bravo.
Thank you, sugar. But that ain't nothing. I got plenty more of that in my pocket. But I'll tell you what, I don't expect this business to hand me anything. There's only a fool keeps going back to the same, oh, I just lost it. Dang it.
Middle of 19. You got 19? You still with us? She's frozen out. Should be back. She's back.
I am back. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Middle of 19? Top-ish of 19? You got it?
Yep. Okay, here we go.
This is just telling me that I should never do this while I'm driving somewhere. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Okay. Because only a fool keeps going back to the same well once it's run dry.
Well, as long as they're casting fools, I guess you can't count me in.
Oh, shucks, boss. I've done forgot my brains. Lord have mercy.
Oh, shut up. You know you do that far too well.
Really? You think so? You think I could get work?
Wherefore art thou, Juliet?
Yeah, well, make all the noise you want. But I do recollect somebody saying they wasn't going to throw a head rag on and play a slave.
Oh, come on, you know me, honey. Be honest. What if someone put a script in front of you and you read a role and you know that role could, well, change your life?
Well, ain't no roles out there gonna make the sun rise and set. Tell it to a half dozen smart lookers who came out of here thinking they were sweeter than Christmas. And now they're getting their exercise holding the cup out like the rest of us.
I ain't the only one who spent my last dime to get out here thinking maybe, just maybe, time's just ready to change.
Well, I ain't gonna argue with you no more, but take no more on your heels till you kick it off till you kick off with your toes. That's what Mama always used to say.
Do what you want, but I ain't gonna sit around twiddling my thumbs hoping someone will discover me sleeping on the streetcar.
Vera exits. Lottie quickly races to the doorway, checking to make sure Vera is gone. Lottie transforms. She is suddenly an actress on the stage. She dramatically crosses to find her light and prepares for her death scene. Scene 3. Studio backlot. Vera, dressed to impress, impatiently rolls a cigarette between her fingers as she anxiously paces back and forth with a script in her hand. Leroy, sharply dressed in an elegant black suit, enters and studies her from afar before deciding whether to approach her. He swings his hat behind his back. Vera stops.
Miss Marie, talk to me. Miss Marie.
Excuse me, but ain't you?
Who?
I'm sorry. I guess I'm wrong. For a second, you look like.
Who?
Oh no, never mind. But you know, from a distance, you sure does look like
A woman who is about to grow real impatient. Are you trying to flirt with me?
Yes, ma'am. I believe I am.
Oh, hiya.
Hiya. Say, what you doing out here all lonesome, huh? You auditioning for this here New Orleans picture like everyone else and their mama?
Me? Nah. But hell, I should like to. I'm just here working for Gloria Mitchell.
Gloria Mitchell?
The one and only. She's inside testing for the lead of The Belle of New Orleans.
No kidding.
Yeah, second time this week. She's all nerves and worries. I had the feeling she was about to yell at somebody, and that somebody wasn't going to be me. So I slipped out. Shh, don't tell nobody I'm back here.
No, ma'am, I won't.
I figure I got another 20 minutes before she realizes I'm gone and all hell breaks loose. Say, will you give me a light?
Yes, ma'am.
Enough with the ma'am. This ain't Alabama and I ain't your mama.
No, you ain't my mama. You're funny.
Oh yeah. Ha ha. What?
I know a little something, something about you.
Do you now?
Yep. You got yourself some spirit.
And you can tell all of that from the way I blow smoke.
No. I've been watching you from over there. My buddy said this country boy couldn't talk to you. He said you chew me up and spit me out. But I told him I taste too good.
You know, you were doing real swell right up until then.
Really? Then I'll take 2 steps back. There. My name's Leroy Barksdale. I thought I'd let you know before you spit me out. Leroy, that means the king in French.
I'm Vera Stark, which means my parents weren't particularly creative and simply named me after my grandma.
It's my pleasure, Miss Stark.
So what you doing at the studio in the middle of the day wearing a suit fit for the Ritz?
You like?
What ain't to like? Swell threads, polished shoes. I'm guessing you ain't the regular help. And I know they don't export Negroes nowhere near the gate. What's your game?
Well, as a matter of fact, I work for Maximilian von Oster, the director of that there picture.
That's a lot of names. Should I be impressed?
Only if those sort of things impress you.
And what, pray tell, do you do for Mr. Von Oster other than standing around looking rather high-hat?
I'm his man Friday.
Well, la-di-da, Man Friday. Can you get me an audition?
Maybe. What's in it for me?
You a fresh one, ain't you? I bet you some tramps might bite, but not this one.
Whoa, easy does it.
You don't look like a Man Friday.
No? I'm actually just doing this here thing until I finish night school. I'm a musician.
Musician? You and every fella. Yeah, let me guess. You play the saxophone.
Nope. I play the trumpet. And I'm studying music theory and composition at the university.
Music theory? Is that a fancy way of saying you're studying to be a music teacher?
No, ma'am. I ain't so interested in teaching, dig? I want to be a composer. You know, write music.
Yeah, I know what a composer does.
Because that's the only way to make your mark. We got all these great musicians play their asses off, but half of them can't read or write music. Hell, I've been in joints where the cats have played the craziest tunes, you know, shook a place right down to its bones, and then the next day can't whistle 12 bars of it because, you know, the gin done fogged their memory. Do you know St. Louis Blues?
Who don't?
Yeah, but do you know the Texas Jaunt? See you later, honey. See you later, honey. Hot Memphis Baby Doll.
I can't say that I do.
Well, there you go. Those are some of the best dang tunes I've ever heard. But you ain't gonna hear them because a brilliant cat called Clyde, Lil Bro Wilson, sure can put a hurtin' on the piano, but can't do nothing with the pen and paper. Now listen here, my father was a farmer, and if it rained today, it was all right with him. Never was thinking about the future. Wasn't thinking about how to stretch his resources a little further or how to improve for the next year. No, man. He'd say hallelujah if something green grew each season. And you see, miss, I ain't going to end up bent and penniless like my pops, trying to coax a dollar from land that ain't produced nothing but misery. I'm thinking 4, 5 years ahead of the next cat.
You one of those new Negroes.
Suppose you can say that?
How come in Los Angeles, nobody actually does what they do, and everybody's on their way to something else, something grander?
And I suppose you ain't?
Who said I ain't? I'm just making a friendly observation.
And what does Miss Vera Stark do?
I'm an actress.
Oh, I see. And so what's the role you're playing today? Gloria Mitchell's maid?
Ease up, jockey. Don't get too fresh. I am an actress.
So tell me, Miss Stark, the actress, what might have I seen you in?
I've been in quite a few pictures, Man Friday. Have you seen Shout Amen?
Yes.
I'm a reveler in the juke joint scene. I'm the gal dancing gay abandoned.
That was you?
So you remember me?
I don't actually, but I'm glad that I saw the picture. I'll remember it more fondly from now on. And supposing I could get you an audition?
Could you really?
Maybe. Is it a good part?
Oh, I don't know. Could be. Tilly, a slave gal who takes care of her alien mistress till the end.
Oh, that's original.
I sense judgment in your voice. Are you one of those people who think the pictures are a blight on our culture? Are you a race man?
I like good picture.
You a real fool, Man Friday.
You find that funny, do you? Don't get me wrong. Now, I'm up for a good laugh as much as the next fella, but why are we still playing slaves? I mean, shucks, it was hard enough getting free the first damn time.
It's steady work and it beats picking cotton. Did you come all the way across the parking lot to school me?
No, ma'am. You seem like a plenty smart gal, and you're about the prettiest thing I've ever seen. And I hope I ain't speaking out of turn, but you don't seem like the sort of gal who just stand around back waiting on some small opportunities. I mean, you seem like the one folks should be paying money to see, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't know exactly what you're saying, and I don't know you well enough to want to know what you mean. So let's just agree that we can all find creative ways to pay the rent. Excuse me, I better go inside.
Hey there, sister, don't run off. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff.
Julius Caesar.
I know a thing or two.
I guess you do. You got my attention, and your thorns need trimming.
Where can one find Miss Vera Stark on a Saturday evening?
Once you figure that out, give me a holler. In the meantime, tend to your garden.
Scene 4, Gloria's living room. Gloria, dressed in a glamorous red evening gown, rushes in with a decorative vase filled with azaleas. She sets them on the coffee table, then frantically searches the bar area.
Vera? 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 Vera!
Gloria, what are you doing?
Oh my God. There you are.
Have you lost your mind?
He wants bourbon.
We don't have bourbon, honey.
I know we don't have bourbon, but he wants bourbon. What are we going to tell him?
Tell him we don't have it and offer him something else.
Bite your tongue. That man out there is the head of the studio. Do you hear me? So Vera Stark, you find me a bottle of bourbon, or so help me, I will.
What?
Oh my God, this is a disaster. He's not going to give me the role. I can feel it. He's sitting out there making his decision.
Pull yourself together.
I tried to call you. I needed you. I was drowning out there.
Okay. Calm yourself. Here.
What's that?
Your special emergency reserve, the good gin.
Oh, you wicked woman. That's where you've been hiding it. Give it to me. Ooh. Just a little drinky poo to soften the lighting. What? He can't see me drink. I'm Gloria Mitchell, America's little sweetie pie. Ah, that's better. Whew, I feel myself. Okay. Now, what am I doing?
You'll make him one of your special martinis.
Of course I will. Thank you. I adore you.
I put these azaleas on the table. Why are they back here?
I moved them. The colors were rather assertive. I was beginning to feel a bit upstaged. Couldn't they have come in a more subtle color?
Well, next time I'll ask God to be more accommodating.
No, I can't go back out there. I've run out of conversation. It's awful. Vera, I went deep into my reservoir, and you know it doesn't go very deep. I can't do it.
Honey, you know your problem. You don't realize how damn lucky you are. Mr. Salasvik's out there for the taking, and with a little flutter of your eyelashes, you can have everything you want.
No, Baba, you don't know how much work this takes. It's exhausting to be this fabulous.
Then shove over, sister, and let someone else do it for a change. I've had to bite into a lot of sour apples since I've been out here, and you don't hear me complaining. But go on, eat your heart out, dive off Mount Olympics, and join the rest of us.
No, throw them away, you witch. Why are you trying to ruin me? I'm going to change. It's all wrong. This dress is all wrong.
Oh, quit your yapping. You're not changing. You look stunning.
Really? Do I?
No, brother. Get back out there before that man leaves.
Excuse me? And who are you?
I'm
Vera, this is a strange woman staring at me.
It's Lottie, my roommate. Lottie, you hired her to help out tonight.
Oh, of course I did. Why are you confusing me? This is a very important evening for me.
Oh, dear Lord, somebody bring some common sense back into this world.
Come on, help me fluff these pillows, and then we'll bring the rest of the food out to the patio.
Hey, hold on there a minute. No reason for them to go to waste. And honey, I'm gonna need a little taste of something to get me through this mess. Where's the good stuff?
May we survive this evening. Cheers.
And for the record, I ain't wearing this idiotic thing. It ain't gonna. I ain't gonna. I don't care what she says. Vera. Vera, Vera. Oh, there you are. I lost my mind and I can't find it anywhere. Help me. Oh, please help me.
Oh, stop it. Come on, give me a hand.
Satin? Boy, this is some swell joint.
Ain't it though?
Even the booze tastes better here. Who knew? Yeah, I could definitely get used to this.
Dream on.
Honey, you don't know how hard I'm dreaming right now.
Oh, I practically forgot to mention. It appears we'll have 2 more this evening. That little prick took liberty of inviting the director Maximilian von Oster to join us for dessert. Sugar, isn't that glorious? The director of the Belle of New Orleans is going to be here.
Really?
And why are you standing around doing nothing? We need more salami.
2 more. I'm afraid I won't have enough for.
Who cares? After a couple martinis, they won't hardly notice. But, honey, did you hear what she said? The director of the Belle of New Orleans is coming here. The director.
Yeah, and
tell old Pharaoh to let my people go.
oh, darling, of course I'd love to be in your picture. Do I sing? Why, of course I do. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Would you like something more, sir?
That is a question I often ask myself.
I mean,
I know what you mean. Yes, give me a pig foot and a bottle of beer. No, actually, I'll have seltzer with a lime.
is something wrong, sir?
I don't particularly enjoy these gatherings. Somehow they always manage to upset my stomach. So if you don't mind, I'm going to grab a bit of quiet before anyone notices I'm gone.
No problem. The chair over there is comfortable. It's my personal favorite.
Thank you. What is your name?
Mine, Vera.
Vera, you're a very pretty colored girl.
I suppose I should say thank you.
I don't want you to think me forward, but it's my job to notice these things. You ever thought about being in pictures?
Yes, sir. Who in this town ain't?
Vera. It means faith in my language. Do you have a last name?
Stark.
Vera Stark. Sounds like a name a publicity department would have cooked up. Vera Stark. Vera Stark. I like. Maybe we'll borrow it.
I ain't loaning out my name. I hope to do something with it one day.
Good for you, Vera. If you find something good in this rotten business, hold on to it.
Oh, God. Quick. I need a drink and something to eat. I've been sucking in my stomach for an hour, so that little pompous prick wouldn't know. Darling, would you be so kind as to pour me another glass of lemonade? I'm simply parched. Oh, Mr. Slavic, I didn't realize you were hiding there. You're missing all the fun, really. Sammy Welsh was telling the gang all about his trip to Puerto Rico. Did you know that they have cockfighting in Puerto Rico? Cockfighting, can you imagine? Grown men cockfighting. Really?
I'm sorry, I missed all that fun.
Up. I won't have you sitting here all by yourself. Oh, I wonder who that could be. Vera, the door. Vera.
Pipe down. I hear you.
Maximilian.
Gloria, you look radiant.
Thank you. Just a little something I threw on. And who is this lovely creature?
Allow me to introduce Miss Ana Maria Fernandez of Rio de Janeiro.
Lord Mitchell. Charm.
I can't believe I'm actually meeting America's little sweetie pie.
In the flesh.
Almost,
My friend,
your timing is impeccable. I'm glad you made it.
my lovely Anna insisted. I wanted her to meet you. I think our Anna has very great potential.
Oh, brother.
My pleasure.
The pleasure is mine.
Enough of that. Won't you come in and make yourself comfortable?
You have a beautiful home and a beautiful maxi.
Yes, my love.
Thank you. Don't just stand there looking so formal. Come on in. Get a drink. Vera, you please take Miss Fernandez's lovely coat.
Thank you. Careful, we don't want it to get wrinkled.
Don't you worry. I'm going to take real good care of it, Miss Fernandez.
So, what are you drinking? You'll have to catch up with the rest of us heathens.
I'll have a gin, double,
I bet you will.
with a twist of limon. Obrigado.
Maximilian, darling.
Same for me.
Gin it is. Don't you have the cutest little accent? I always wanted an accent. But we have to work with what God gives us, don't we?
I find that to be so. I wish I didn't have accent. In America, it is difficult because not everyone understands what I say.
Oh, I understand you perfectly, honey. Cigarette?
Thank you.
Cigarette?
Please.
Maxi was telling me all about his new picture, The Belle of New Orleans. It sounds very, very interesting. Ow!
Yes, we're all quite interested in the Belle of New Orleans. I just adore the script, as I've told you, Maximilian.
It is a very good script, if I may say so.
What is she doing here?
Digging for gold.
You gotta be kidding me.
Do I look like I'm laughing?
Tell them what you told me, Maxie.
It is my plan to film on location in New Orleans, in brothel. I want the grittiness and sensuality of the place to be palpable.
Ain't that exciting?
It is so hard to capture flavors, the true essence of a city like New Orleans on studio backlot. Am I correct in saying so? It is for the more. I want that because, of course, how I position actors in the environment will inform or perhaps transform their very performance. Indeed, I want here.
It sounds thrilling.
It sounds expensive.
Of course it is. That is the point. We want to be spectacular, fresh. We want to be so thoroughly authentic. If the Belle of New Orleans is like every other film that we've seen, then what is the point? It is time for cinema to take bold, new leap. It is time to capture the truth. For instance, I want the Negroes to be real, to be Negroes of the earth. I want to feel their struggle, the rhythm of their language. I want actors that, no, I don't want actors. I want people, Negroes who have felt the burden of hard, unmerciful labor. I want to see hundreds of years of oppression in the hunch of their shoulders.
Sir, you want another drink, sir?
Yes, thank you. I want to hear the music of the fields, the songs of strife and struggle. Yes, that is the sound. Where are you from, my dear?
Me, sir?
What's your tragic story?
I was born in the Mississippi Delta, but I was just raised outside of New Orleans.
Yes? Wonderful.
My mama died in childbirth because there wasn't no doctor there to birth me proper. And you see, my pappy was a blues man, and guitar was the onlyest thing he loved. My pappy done owned himself a juke joint. And as a child, I worked it there because he couldn't afford no other help. Nah, sir, I worked it like a grown woman, though I was nothing but a child. I done seen plenty of ugly things no child need see, but my pappy was a good man. But mister, sometime in the South, a good man have to do ugly things just to survive.
Sing something. I want to hear the blues.
Yes, go on, Vera. Sing us the blues because you know them so well.
My man, he done treat me wrong. I said, my man, he done treat me wrong. He's a low down, dirty bastard. But hell if our love ain't strong. My man, he mean and nasty.
Nasty.
But he, I can't. No, it's too painful. It don't take me home, and home ain't someplace that's so easy to be.
Yes, I understand. As a child, I fled Cossacks. But still, for me, Russia is home. But even now, it would be too painful to recall bittersweet music of home. You see, Frederick, this is what we need on the screen. Authenticity. Just as Anna Maria conjures the flavors of Carnival in Brazil, this broken Negro woman, her sad and mournful face, the coarse rhythm of her language, tells the story of the South.
Yes, sugar. But how do you see the little role of Marie, the octoroon?
She has lived life.
Yes, of course. That's one.
I want the lines and creases in the faces of the prostitutes in my brothel to tell their stories.
Whores? I didn't realize there were any whores in this script.
It is set in brothel.
Yes, but it doesn't mean they need to be whores. Couldn't we make them something else, something less objectionable?
Like,
I don't know, something less prostitute-y, but equally distasteful, like a nightclub singer or an actress. Van Oster, I want to be clear. We can't have whores, not as long as the studio is making this picture. When you came to me with a book about a slave woman in New Orleans, I didn't book. I said, let's do it. I was even willing to keep the lead as an actoroon as long as she's played by a white woman and there's no mention that she's colored. I don't want to make federal case out of this. Oh, shit. I don't want to make federal case out of this, but if our lead is a whore and we have a bunch of Negroes running around selling misery, we won't even be able to open the picture in New York City.
that is little detail. It is truth I'm after.
Fuck the truth. I signed on for a romance with pretty gals in corsets and hoop skirts.
Yes, we'll have it all.
Well, I don't want it all. That's what I'm worried about. Vera, can I have some bicarbonate soda, please?
Yes, sir.
Little freshen for me too.
I must have freedom.
When you own the studio, you can buy your own damn freedom. Until then, no whores, no cotton-picking slaves, no misery. I want romance and maybe a couple of musical numbers. If I wanted a critique on antebellum New Orleans, I would check the book out of a library. Look here, Van Oster. There is a fucking depression. People are lining up at soup kitchens. Mothers are selling their babies. Nobody wants to hear the blues.
I love the blues.
You see that? People want the truth. They want real life, like this woman here. What is your name?
Vera, sir.
You See, she is not an actress. She is a woman who wears her miserable life like blossom about to flower, and it is beautiful. And why can't we celebrate that beauty on the screen?
People want to laugh, they want to cry, and they want a little song and dance in between. And I don't think that's so fucking awful. But the one thing they don't want is to feel bad about themselves. Now, not while the economy is dying and good folks are being forced out of their homes and into a fucking gutter. Now, people need the past, need their history to see heroic, glorious, and romantic. That is what we do. Waste their pain for 90 minutes. And let's face it, slavery ain't exactly a pick-me-up. All I'm asking is that if you're going to give them slaves, give them happy ones.
I am director. Do you want me to make something beautiful, untruthful, elegant, or do you want the skit that you pull from the asses of the imbeciles? Tell me now, right here. Don't waste my time. I demand to know. Right now, I want answer.
I want romance. That's my fucking answer.
I love the script and I won't be told what to do.
Don't you walk away from me. This conversation isn't over. I run this goddamn studio.
Okie dokie. A little difference of opinion. I better go make sure no one falls into the pool. Oh, Vera, next time you want to play a scene, perhaps you should let your scene partners know ahead of time.
I'm gonna go ahead and switch it.
Step down, ladies, sing this song, doo-dah, doo-dah. Camp down racetrack, 5 miles long, oh, doo-dah,
Oh,
day.
shut up.
You heard the man, he's looking for happy slaves.
And I suppose you're perfect for the part.
What happened to my drink?
Go get your own damn drink.
Yes, sir.
You're playing way out of your league, honey.
Ain't I though? It's only 'cause my playmates don't care for the games I play.
How long do you think you can keep up the front?
Oh, he's buying what I'm selling, even if it ain't the real thing. Trust me, in the bedroom, a horny Joe ain't no particular about the accent.
You are one devious dame.
Oh, grow up. Everyone in this town has an angle. Listen here, I'm gonna get me a role in this picture, and the studio ain't gonna have a whole lot to say about it.
Whoa, ain't you getting a little ahead of yourself?
Hey, I found this one hanging at the back door of the kitchen. You know him? Says he's the chauffeur.
Vera Stark, I've been leaving messages for you all around town.
What did you do with Von Austin's Man Friday?
Well,
That's a nice touch.
it's kind of silly, but you know how it is.
Ain't you supposed to be watching the car?
Ain't you supposed to be colored?
Out of your system.
What did I miss? Does someone want to share the joke with me?
Why don't you ask Senorito Fernandez of Rio de Janeiro?
I'm laughing.
What happened to your accent?
What? Are you gonna tell on me?
How about that? I knew it. Hot damn, I knew something was up. You know, because when you first climbed your ass into the car, you gave me a look, and baby, I knew there was some pork fat in that hello. Can't fool me, little sister.
So, what's the big deal? Some broads dye their hair blonde, and some of us a little more creative. Believe me, I ain't the only color gal masquerading for a living. Get off my back. Yes, sir. You want another drink? There you go, sir.
I is from Rio de Janeiro. I know speaky English. Honey, you ain't the only one looking for work.
Yeah, and some of us field Negroes don't have to say it, don't have it so easy.
Man, oh man, if Von Oster found out.
Well, he ain't gonna.
Quick, Need another drink.
Discúlpeme. I better go check on Maxine.
You do that.
How's it going?
This is a disaster. Something has to be done or this isn't going to happen. It has to happen. I need it to fucking happen. Who's this?
Leroy Barksdale. I drive for Mr. Von Oster, ma'am.
Ooh, is it a big car?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh.
Oh, brother.
How come every time I come into my living room, I find someone new standing there? It's like a rent party in Harlem where people just show up, drink your booze, and pretend like you're lending a hand.
What do you know about rent parties in Harlem?
Absolutely nothing.
That's the official story.
If you need me, I'll be in my bedroom slitting my wrists.
Okay.
That's America's sweetie pie?
Welcome to the House of Mirrors. If you can find your way out of here, good luck.
I ain't leaving just yet. Seems to me the real fun's just beginning.
Well, I better get out there.
No, you stay. It's my turn to audition.
Make yourself comfortable, why don't you?
Don't mind if I do.
Take off your shoes. I'll bring you back.
Would you, sugar?
Look here, Tonic. I'm on duty. I gotta work.
Relax. I ain't worried about them white folks. The gin and whiskey's gonna take care of them.
Easy for you to say, but there's a lot riding on this evening, so have a drink and then be on your way.
It tickles me how half the Negroes in this town are running around like chickens without heads, trying to get 5 minutes of shucking and jiving time. All so they can say that they're in pictures. It's just lights and shadows. What's the big deal? I'm a musician, right? I play because it's like how I tell my story. And I can begin here in chains. I can begin here in chains. And I can end right there, free. If you want to be in pictures, where you going to begin and where you going to end, dig?
You're one heavy cat. What do you care? It's just lights and shadows, as you say. And I ain't gonna lie. I've been dreaming of the pictures ever since I saw Little Moon Glow Willie crack a smile at the 10-cent arcade. I know it's silly, but I've wanted to be up there with Willie, making folks laugh to their stupid. Hell, I've been out here 5 years chasing after Willie. I've walked my feet raw trying to get a break. Told myself 1,000,000 times, it ain't worth it, Vera. Pack your bags and go home. It's just lights and shadows, right? But I've been performing since I was 6 years old. There's nothing I can't do. You want me to do the soft shoe, I'll do it, and I'll do it so good it'll embarrass you. All right? Imagine if you had no place to blow your horn.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
All right then. So you see, I ain't ready to give up just yet. And before you came in here, Tonic, I actually did something I vowed I'd never do. And I did it so easily, it frightened me. And I got to thinking about what I'd be willing to do to have a taste of what Gloria's got. You know, be a star. And tonight, I crossed the bridge. And I'm telling you, I ain't going back.
Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. The movie, black and white, The Belle of New Orleans, a richly appointed Southern bourgeois circa 1855. Gloria, playing the role of a sickly Marie, the octoroon mistress of a wealthy merchant, sits up in bed. Anna May, playing the role of Cecilia, a lively French singer and Gloria's best friend, enters laughing. The acting is the emotionally grand style of the early 1930s. Faces are expressive, movement sharp and theatrical. It shouldn't be a parody, but rather a true attempt to capture the cinematic style of that period. The costumes are sumptuous and playful.
Marie, what are you still doing in bed? I thought surely you'd be packed in halfway to L'Hermitage by now.
No, I'm not going.
Not going? But why? That's all you've been talking about for days.
I can't marry him.
Why?
There are too many lies between us. If I leave here, Madame Pierre has threatened to tell him the truth, that my blood isn't pure and that it carries a drop of shame and misery. I'm an octoroon, Cecile, and eventually he will discover the truth.
I have the blood of noble French family, and look at how much good it's done me here in New Orleans. He loves me. What does it matter?
Now, but what happens when he finds out that I'm the daughter of a slave woman? Will he still want me to be the mistress of the Grand Hermitage?
Don't cry, Marie. What is it?
It's the fever.
It will break soon.
No, Cecile, it won't. I'm dying.
Oh, my poor sweet Cecile. My poor sweet Marie.
There you is, Miss Cecile. Madame Pierre be won't you yesterday. She fit to be tied. Now you best to be getting down there for she tang your hide.
Rest. I'll be right back shortly.
Don't leave me.
Rest.
Don't worry. Miss Tilly's gonna take good care of you. Sure enough he is. You're gonna get through this and soon you'll be back out there. Madame Grace nearly finished with your gown. And come Friday, you're gonna put it on and be the prettiest thing that have ever danced the quadrille at the Magnolia Ball.
Wouldn't that be lovely? What is it, Tilly? Tell me.
Mr. Lafayette here to see you.
Tell him I'm not here. I can't bear to see him, to face him, not like this, not now, not after all that has happened.
But he already know you's here. That rascal Cascas done told him.
Tell him to go. Tell him I'm sleeping. Tell him anything. No, I can't. No, I don't want to see him.
He ain't want me to say, but he missing you some awful.
Oh, won't you tell him to go already? Wait, does he look well?
He look real good, miss.
Did he bring his alias?
You know he always do.
And does he know? Did you tell him I'm dying?
I don't know what he know, but I do know that he here. Miss, that man out there loves you. And if you send him away now, it's going to be a real shame. You can't keep hiding from the world. Talk to him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him you love him. Because you and I know there ain't no other man in your heart but him.
How do you put up with me?
Miss, what you want me to tell him?
Tell him to remember me on the warm spring day we went boating on the bayou. I was wearing the violet cardigan that Mammy made. It was a perfect afternoon, as perfect as it could be. And if he remembers, as I do, we didn't even want it to end. I like to think of us that way.
Miss Marie? Miss Marie? Talk to me, Miss Marie. Oh, Lordy. Miss, please don't down me. You can't leave me. What would Tilly do without her, miss? You remember when we was young, running barefoot in the backyard, and you done found out That wounded bird and Mammy said let her die, but you taught that poor thing to fly again. Well, you that bird, and I ain't gonna let you go without a fight. Fight!
I have no more fight, Tilly.
I ain't gonna let you go. Don't die, miss. Don't die. You the only thing I's got, Miss Marie.
I'm free, Tilly. I'm free.
Stay awake, and together we'll face a new day.
Oh, Marie.
Well, she in heaven now.
I see some new folks have just wandered in. If you're looking for the colloquium, Rediscovering Vera Stark, The Legacy of the Belle of New Orleans, you've arrived. If you could quickly take your seats, I have a few brief remarks before I roll a recently rediscovered clip of Vera Stark's final interview on the Brad Donovan Show in 1973. Can I have a little more volume on the mic, please? And if you could cue the system. Thank you. As I was saying, the film is an adaptation of the controversial novel The Belle of New Orleans, written by Bernard St. Simon in 1852. It tells the story of two slave sisters in New Orleans in the mid-19th century, Marie, the beautiful octoroon prostitute, and Tilly, her devoted servant and companion. Marie is played by Gloria Mitchell, America's little sweetie pie. And Tilly is played by, of course, by Vera Stark in her first major screen appearance. Vera does her best to bring life and complexity to the underwritten role of Tilly, and it's in many ways her performance that elevates the film to, dare I say it, art. In the early 30s, Hollywood was beginning to push boundaries. Black folks were cavorting on screen. Women were stripping off their stockings and exploring their sexuality. And thankfully, The Belle of New Orleans was made in this pre-code Hollywood. Thus, the relationship between the two women on screen is more tender and textured than anything we'll see between races until the 50s. However, it's ironic that a film that is fundamentally about the politics of race deliberately goes out of its way to avoid discussing slavery. In fact, it's only near the end of the film that we discover Marie's true racial identity. She's an octoroon. Slavery is merely the exotic backdrop. Papier-peint, the wallpaper. Indeed, The Belle of New Orleans paints a portrait of a romantic and idealized world where the slave woman Tilly doesn't long for freedom, but merely to please her dying mistress. It's a grotesque misrepresentation of history. So you ask, why? Why are we still intrigued by this damn movie? Why are we still talking about it? Well, it's because Vera Stark's subversive and nuanced performance bears further examination. She is at once in the role and commenting on it. It is a revolutionary performance, dare I say political performance. What was she saying to us? Oh, I see a few standing in the back. Please, don't be shy. Join us. I didn't mean to go on like this, and in a moment, I'll play the recently rediscovered footage from the Brad Donovan Show. And as we watch, I'd like to plant one question in your heads. What happened to Vera Stark? In late 1973, she mysteriously disappeared. Why? Did she take her own life as it's been suggested in Granford Ellis's brilliant book, Subverting Blackness? Or was she cannibalized by our culture? These are questions that have perplexed a generation of American cinephiles. Indeed, controversy plagued Vera's later career. Her early promise was was. But before we get into that, I'd like to introduce our esteemed panelists. Professor of Media and Gender Studies at USVC, Carmen Levy-Green.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
And journalist, poet, and performer Afua Asata Ijobo.
Thank you, Brother Herbert. I'm very excited to be a part of this conversation.
And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Herb Forrester, a filmmaker, musician, and entrepreneur from Oakland. Let's roll the footage, please. Lights.
Scene 2, 1973. The Brad Donovan Show, intro music, applause. The bright, colorful sheen of early 70s television talk show. The host, Brad Donovan, sits down on the stage next to Peter Rhys Davies, a groovy English rock musician casually sprawled across a chair. Brad Donovan stands in to introduce.
She first graced the silver screen in a little film called The Belle of New Orleans. Yes, she has a remarkable career that has spanned over 4 glorious decades. She's currently headlining in the Folies Bergère at the Tropicana in Las Vegas. My next guest needs little, if any, introduction. The incomparable Vera Stark. The incomparable Vera Stark.
Thank you. Thank you. Isn't he marvelous and so very, very handsome?
I must ask, because I always do, what on earth are you wearing? Let the audience see.
Do you like it? Do you like it? Thank you. Thank you.
Your dress is how should I put it? Very colorful.
Colorful? Is that the best you can do, darling? How long have you been hosting this show? Colorful is how you describe a trip to Tijuana. No, this is an original by Alexander Wynn. Isn't it wonderful? He's a fabulous young Negro designer.
Really? A young Negro designer, you say?
Yes, he is a Negro. I know I'm supposed to say, what is it? Afro-American, but forgive me. I find it to be a very cumbersome word. A mouthful, honey. I'll probably get a letter from the NAACP tomorrow morning. But try as I might, this old tongue just can't be retrained. And let me tell you something. I marched with Dr. King, of course I did. And I was one of the very first actresses in Hollywood to be outspoken about the civil rights movement in the 50s. If you remember, I publicly turned down the role of Hannah Gunn in the film The Ghost of Alabama.
I remember the controversy.
But I didn't come here to talk about that. Right now, I'm hopelessly in love with this Negro designer, Alexander Wynn.
Spectacular.
And I told him I will wear his dress on your show.
Your dress is really groovy. I almost wore something like it to the show.
Isn't that funny? So did I.
And who is this dashing young man? Are you an actor?
No, I play rock and roll, the blues.
Rock and roll? The blues? Really?
So, now you're conducting the interview, aren't you?
I'm just asking this handsome young man some questions because we were never formally introduced by the wretched host of this television show.
Oh, that would be me.
Call me old-fashioned, but I like to know who I'm addressing.
Vera Stark, meet Peter Rhys Davies. Peter Rhys Davies, meet Vera Stark.
I'm a huge fan of the Belle of New Orleans. I saw it on the telly in the hotel room like last summer. I really loved it, dug it. It was really, really moving. You know, it surprised me. I cried at the end. I'm not ashamed. when you said to her, what is, stay awake,
Oh, Vera, you know I won't you leave here until we hear that line. Yes. Oh, please, please, please.
It's only because I'm fond of you. Stay awake, and together we'll face a new day.
That line just gets me every time. Yeah.
Oh, shut up. I've made over 55 pictures since that time. Some good ones. The Confederates with the late, great Arthur Potter, God's Fitful Chillins with Jerome McGregor, and my dear friend Lottie McBride. And of course I did the series Loomis and Larry. But all that anyone seems to remember is the Belle of New Orleans.
Well, it is a picture that first introduced you to an audience and where you were nominated for a rather big, shiny award. And I have to say that time has not diminished the magic of that film. I caught it on television not so long ago. I found myself watching the whole darn thing, even though I'd seen it a half dozen times. I mean, Everyone's Little Sweetie Pie, Gloria Mitchell, just magical. And the Brazilian Spitfire actress, Ana Maria Fernandez. Your cast was just phenomenal.
Can I drink this? Is this here for me?
Oh, are you trying to change the subject, Vera?
It's been the subject of my life for the past 40 years, and of course I'm trying to change the subject.
Am I on now?
Yes.
I'm on
Sorry.
now?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. Pause. Carmen, Afua. Quick, what happened to Vera Stark?
She got tired. She got angry. She got it. How should I say it? Real. She got real. She got real. She got radicalized.
I love that my colleague is a romantic. No, Vera didn't move to Cuba and cut sugarcane. She was simply pulled in many directions, forced to contend with the inherent contradiction that was
Herb.
Hold on to that thought. I want to come back to this, but let's push into the interview.
Vera, I know our audience is just dying to know what you've been up to.
Well, after years of neglect, someone saw fit to pull me out of an old, dusty old trunk.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh, shut up. It's true. It's so true it hurts. But after years of wandering the desert, so to speak, out of the blue, Howard Martin called and invited me to be a part of the Folies Bergerier in Vegas. It's a marvelous show, and I simply jumped at the opportunity to perform again, and I hadn't realized how much I really, really missed it. And it feels wonderful to be back working the strip.
Vegas is one wild, weird place. The lights, craziness.
Woo, yes. And you know I haven't performed live since I toured Germany with the P.D. Owens Orchestra.
Oh, I believe there's an album from that tour.
Yes, we recorded a wonderful live album.
Yes, I love that. You know, live, you get the audience and stuff, you know, like, There's something I love about that gal of mine. There's something I love about that gal of mine. There's something I love about that gal of mine. She treats me right and loves me all the time. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, the element of surprise.
Honey, I want one of his happy pills.
Okay. Hey, you and me both. So Vera, are you working on a new picture?
I'm gonna tell you something. There's nothing worthwhile being made today. The pictures aren't true quality like the old days. Now, well, it's all crap with guns, bad language, and bikinis.
I'd love to see you in the bikini.
Honey, I don't think you can handle all of this. Have you ever been with a Negro woman or man? Because these days, you know.
Oh, Vera.
What? Can I say these things on television? Young man, I kissed one white man in my life. Look at that. The audience has gotten silent. I hope they don't cancel you, but I'm going to finish my story.
Vera, why don't you tell us about...
Oh, hush up. I kissed this actor. I won't say his name. You can read it in my autobiography, but we shared a tender, gin-filled kiss at Club Alhambra.
Oh, yes. Fascinating. But
It was the spontaneous response to a rather memorable evening. The Buzz Milligan Orchestra was swinging, and we just completely forgot ourselves. It practically caused a riot. True story. It was a harmless kiss. This was before those hippies.
You mean hippies?
Yes, hippies introduced the notion of free love. No, back then love came with a price.
I like you.
I like you.
You tell it like it is.
Yes, I do.
Speaking of love, you were married to two rather famous gentlemen. Weren't you?
Are you reading those questions from a card? Must we bring up unfortunate things? Yes, Leroy, my first husband, was a brilliant musician, but he got himself into a little trouble, as you might remember.
Yes.
He was backed into a corner and he came out fighting. Young people don't know this, but we had to be fighters back then. Celestial Pictures terminated my contract because of my relationship with Leroy. Bet you didn't know that, honey.
Oh, no, I didn't.
But I make no apologies for him, and I understand why what happened. You're looking at me. But I had that kind of unfortunate love for Leroy, and it's only after a couple cocktails and a sedative that I make peace with it.
Are you saying that what he did was right?
I was there. And it was in that moment, he was like a lovely April shower that suddenly and unexpectedly turned into a squall and blows everything away. He reacted humanly, too. Too humanly, perhaps. I don't know. Leroy was a major talent. So were many of us. But yes, I'm sorry for the man who was on the dark side of his historic rage, but it happened.
What happened to Vera Stark?
Dark side of historic rage. Dark side of historic rage. Dark side of historic rage. Look at the expression on Brad Donovan's face. Isn't it delicious? He doesn't know what to say. She's challenging them to understand Leroy's historic rage. Remember, these sort of things don't get said on popular television. 1973. There's no apprehension in her voice. She's fearless. Fearless. It's 1973. Cliff Lloyd took 4 white racist cops hostage. The country was on fire. And this woman is talking about kissing a white man.
We now know from her autobiography was none other than Dudley Dumars.
She's a volcano on the verge of erupting, ready to release the pressures of years of battling patriarchal hegemony. And she begins by provoking the younger generation by asking Peter Rhys Davis whether indeed he's ready for a more progressive relationship to race and sexual orientation. She's a rebel, a warrior. She is saying, whitey, whitey, paying attention to this nigger woman.
Interesting. Unpack it for me.
What happened to Vera Stark? Representations of self, truth unfurled like strips of mud cloth laid across a bare black back of a Nubian goddess. She's chanting, I'm here, bitches, I'm...
Okay, poetics aside, I'd like to steer the conversation back to the question.
Should I get out of your way?
I don't want to step on you. Indeed, if I'm reading the interview correctly, I recognize the immensity of Vera's struggle. A little context for the audience. I'm a semitician and a classically trained actress. I studied acting with Thomas Garung in Stuttgart. And as you can see, I'm a woman of a certain girth. So I know how easy it is to ascribe to a role and become imprisoned by it. At the academy, I played Juliet, Nora, Medea, classical roles. But in the professional world, I was offered the same crumbs that in many respects defined Vera's career.
And your point is?
Das Buck. Does anybody know how to pronounce that word? Das Abrokerschnan?
German.
Okay.
German.
Sure.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's German. The unspoken.
Interesting.
The coded silence.
Hmm.
If we watch the interview carefully, it's not just what's said, but also the tension of what's unspoken.
What are you getting at?
It's the internal tug of war between what she said and what she was and what could have been and what she has come to represent. What I'm getting at? What am I getting at? Vera had a very difficult career, many ups and downs. She battled alcoholism, bankruptcy.
I believe we have some images from that period, would you please?
Thank you. She had 2 problematic marriages. One to Dorth Ross, a middleweight prizefighter and world-class philanderer. And of course, there was her marriage to Leroy Barksdale, the trumpeter for the Petit Owens Orchestra. As we all know, he ended up doing a stint in prison for manslaughter.
Yes, he accidentally beat a drunk heckler to death with his trumpet.
Barksdale was a rabid rouser, an early and outspoken critic of racism in Hollywood. Vera's career took a major hit because she stood by him throughout his troubles.
I don't entirely agree with that, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna make you angry, Carmen. You can't blame Barksdale for the decline of Vera's career. She squandered the goodwill of audiences, both black and white, by taking demeaning roles in second-rate films.
Her options were finite.
For what?
Okay, listen, her options were finite. Do you have the Barksdale footage?
Mr. Barksdale, it is an honor to finally meet you.
You ain't the first cat to come in here asking questions. Where are you from, Paris? I've been to Paris. If you know what I'm saying, Paris.
Tell me about that night on August 3rd.
A lot of folks ask about that night. I don't want to talk about it. And I said, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, if you ask me again, I'll walk the hell out of here. We clear?
Then talk to me about Vera Stark.
Vera. Vera Stark. She was beautiful and a damn good actress. A lot of folks don't know that. Want to hear a little story about Vera? She was making a film with the German actress, you know, with the deep voice. And of course, Vera was playing a maid. The costume designer had her dressed up in this ridiculous maid's uniform, made her look like a pickaninny for old Virginia. But Vera had the costume mistress taking the dress 2 inches around the waist and the hips, so it looked real sexy. And I could tell the director dug it, because when you see the film, there are all these wonderful close-ups of Vera, you know, bending over to pick up the laundry. You know, she knew how to work all angles, you know, get a little more than they was willing to give her. I used to tease Vera, you know, joke that she was cheesecake served in a brown paper bag. She was something else back then. Beautiful, smart, and knew it. Let me tell you something real. I love that woman, but Hollywood didn't treat her right. You want the truth? Ask Vera about Gloria Mitchell. And if you really want to know about the Hollywood game, can you get that damn light out of my eyes?
See? Dog, I spoke his spear. Can we continue with the interview, please?
Scene 3, a television studio, 1973. Vera, Brad, and Peter, studio audience applause.
Welcome back. I'm sitting here with Peter Reese Davies and Vera Stark, and I have someone else who is very eager to join us. Vera, an old friend of yours, found out that you were on the show and insisted on joining us.
Really? I didn't know I had any friends left.
Well, please give a warm round of applause to America's original sweetie pie, Gloria Mitchell.
My goodness, my Gloria.
Sarah.
This is a surprise. I am shocked. I am flabbergasted.
How long has it been?
A long time, honey. Look at you. You look marvelous. But you always did know how to wear fur.
How long has it been? Oh, sorry. And you look absolutely gorgeous. You wicked woman. You haven't aged a second.
Gloria Mitchell, the Belle of New Orleans.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were dead.
That's the problem with this town. You don't die once, you're forced to die many slow deaths.
Well, you look wonderful for a course.
It's all an illusion. I'm held together with powder and paste, scratch a little deeper, and I'll crumble.
Huh? Won't we all, honey? Won't we all?
I flew in from London only yesterday, but I had to see you, darling.
And we are thrilled.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you since we did 5 Stolen Kisses.
No, that can't be possible. That was the last film I appeared in before I moved to London.
Golly, is that true? It was a delightful film. So, Gloria, tell me, how long have you lived in London?
20 years. I moved there with my third husband, Malcolm Brathwaite, who is, of course, the conductor of the London Symphony Orchestra. Quite a difference from Hollywood, and I love it.
You know, people talk about the wonderfully warm rapport you two had in the Belle of New Orleans. And I was wondering, How long have you known each other?
Don't tell him. Don't you dare tell him.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who wants to know. Audience?
Vera is one of the few people who knew me before I even understood the meaning of the word glamour.
Don't believe her. This woman came out the womb wearing pearls and
The truth through the rumor that you worked as Gloria's maid.
yes, believe it or not, I was her maid.
And a dear friend.
And maid. Gloria caught a break and I had to catch the bus to work every day, honey. It was the Depression. This one here is too young to remember, but people were standing in bread lines. You took work where you could find it, and we were troopers. We did what we had to do.
Yes, darling, but you make it sound horrible. It was a gorgeous time.
In many ways, yes. But it wasn't easy for everyone, honey. And tell them the truth. We go a little further back than that.
Yes, well, the audience is going to chuckle, but we were youngsters on the vaudeville circuit.
You're kidding.
You remember those days, Vera? A caravan of acts, one more ridiculous than the next. I'm just wild about Harry, and Harry's wild about me, and heavenly blisses of kisses fills me with ecstasy. Come on, Vera, you remember?
He's sweet just like chocolate candy, or like the honey from the bee. Oh, I'm just wild about Harry, he's just wild about me. Now I'm just wild about Harry, and Harry's wild about me. The heavenly blisses of his kisses fills me with ecstasy. Say now he's sweet just like chocolate candy, or like honey from a bee. Oh, I'm just wild about Harry, and he's just wild about, can I do without, he's just wild about me.
Gloria Mitchell! Vera Stark! Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Many of our great performers got their feet wet on the vaudeville stage. Bunny Brickens, the Carlson brothers. It's fascinating. I didn't realize the circuit was integrated back then, and you two were performing as children.
Who can remember? That was ancient history. We were performers first and foremost. Show people.
Yes, but there was something called the tuba circuit. Don't remember what it stands for, but we used to joke it meant tough on black asses.
Oh, yeah. It was so long ago. These young people have no idea what you're talking about.
Toby time, you know, Negro vaudeville wear.
Gloria, what brings you back to Los Angeles?
Oh, nothing. I'm just being honored with the United Motion Pictures Medal of Honor.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations. 40 years in this business, you get a Medal of Honor, and I get a 2-week engagement in Vegas. Miss Gloria Mitchell, folks.
You joke. But I welcome every opportunity I get to come back here because this town has been so good to me. Even though I couldn't get work here for many years. They'll give you awards, but they won't give you a job. And of course, I wanted to see this marvelously talented woman. I've invited her to visit London half a dozen times, but she never comes.
Honey, my phone hasn't rang since 1969 when I asked you to do some dreadful zombie picture in Haiti.
Oh, the same old Vera. I do love you. I hope you knew that.
I want to share something. I have a slide of the two of you in the Belle of New Orleans.
Look at us. This is just so incredible. We look like babies. Oh God, I remember that costume. They had me in the tightest corset. I didn't think I'd be able to make it through the scene. It was impossible, and I was terribly nervous. I had eaten an enormous lunch that day.
She won't tell you this, but Gloria gained 15 pounds while we were filming this picture. So when you see me struggling with her corset, honey, I was really struggling.
When you look at these old pictures, what's running through your mind?
Too many things. It was such an interesting, difficult, and wonderful time. I was trying.
Every actress at the studio wanted to be in this picture, you know. It's a remarkable film, and it's tribute to the director Maximilian von Oster, who fought for his vision. I adore him for it.
And not many people know this, but I fought tooth and nail for the last line in The Belle of New Orleans.
Really? I can't believe that.
Crazy. Artists like, they don't trust that we have a complete vision, right?
They didn't want Tilly, a Negro woman, to have the final word. The studio tried to cut the line.
Thank God they didn't.
They felt the words were too ambiguous. It may not seem so today, but the film was very daring for its time. It was banned in most theaters in the South.
But correct me if I'm wrong. The film also came under some criticism from the NAACP, particularly for the depiction of the role of Tilly.
Unfairly, I think. Vera was incredible in that role. She raised the bar for all of us.
And people forget that I opened doors in Hollywood. Yes, I did. I marched with Dr. King and Selma. I wore a dashiki before Malcolm X. I've had to battle all of my career. It's easy for people to point fingers today, but honey, should I not have taken that role and cleaned toilets and made beds in someone's home instead?
If you please. Dashiki before Malcolm X. This was Vera's final interview, as we know. Her show at the Foley's began billed as her triumphant comeback. Was cut short because of her repeated absences due to her alcoholism. She infamously did a striptease on stage and was arrested for public indecency.
Booze wasn't the source of the problem, Brother Herbert. She was shackled to the stage and paraded like chattel. Bottom line, she wouldn't do it anymore.
She was doing what she loved, but she was...
Let me interrupt. I have a colleague who many years ago was visiting friends in Palm Springs, and the elderly maid who served him dinner was none other than Vera Stark.
Listen, there have been many Vera sightings for years. She's a maid. She's a crossing guard in Tuscaloosa.
Please, apocryphy. The fact is that on November 17, 1973, Vera took a deadly cocktail of booze and pills, a defiant fuck you to the industry. She died in a hotel room in Reno. She went to her grave misidentified as a prostitute named Shirley Treasure Bowers.
Show me the evidence.
Read my book. I write extensively about it in my collection of essays, Interrogating Mammy, the Parenthetical Negro Dilemma.
Bottom line, did Vera take her own life in a seedy Reno hotel? Carmen, your thoughts?
Well, several years ago, I got a call from a college friend who worked in a homeless shelter in Santa Monica. She said, "You're not going to believe this, but there's an old woman who's been coming in for about a week, and she claims to be Vera Stark." I thought she was pulling my leg, but you see, I just begun doing research for my thesis on African-American actresses in early Hollywood. So I drove down to the shelter, and there, sitting in the recreation room, was a small, fragile old lady with these beautifully expressive eyes, and I knew immediately it was her. I'm sorry, I just get a little choked up.
Take your time. Take your time.
It was truly heartbreaking to see this giant talent, our own Hollywood legend reduced to handouts. I introduced myself, told her what I was working on, and her eyes just lit up. It was as if I'd offered her some 20 more years of life. Please cue the photo that I clipped from the Santa Monica Digest.
I'm looking at the photo, and frankly speaking, it could be anyone.
Exactly, but it isn't. Enlarge, please.
That's a bag lady in Santa Monica. She
It's Vera. It's her. I talked to her for hours about her husbands, her friends, studio system. She talked about everything in no particular order and with no sense of chronology or priority. Random anecdotes. In truth, it was just the ramblings of an old woman desperate to be remembered. But she talked mostly about her cousin, sometimes with disgust, sometimes with awe. A girl who she performed with in the early days on the vaudeville circuit, when the Stark family had a popular song and dance team. Vera seemed to suggest that her cousin had the career that she herself deserved. I wrote a little bit about this in my conversation in my recent book, Hollywood Dreams.
It's a wonderful book, by the way. And in it, you claim that Vera's cousin was none other than the screen legend Gloria Mitchell.
Well, I've struggled through your book. And with all due respect, my sister, I think you've done some brilliant creative writing. There's no written or anecdotal evidence to support this claim.
That isn't what.
In fact, we know that Vera worked at Gloria's maid, and as to the nature of their relationship, I think it's safe to say that it was probably that of mistress and servant, Missy and Mammy.
Interesting. In Dr. Eugene Clarkson's book, Sexual Misadventures in Black Hollywood, it suggested that Gloria and Vera were lesbian lovers. That it was a torrid affair that ended badly after Vera was nominated for an Academy Award. Some point to the unique and fiery chemistry of the two actresses in The Belle of New Orleans as the reason why the film succeeds.
No, Herb. I've made a very strong case for them being cousins.
Kissing cousins.
Cousins. The interview is very telling. Cousins. And I think we missed something key. If we don't examine their careers in that context,
Of course, it's the thesis of your book, so I know how strongly you feel about this, but I disagree. As a Black lesbian, I want nothing more than to claim Vera, can Vera not exist without a relationship to Gloria? Come on, y'all. Why do my colleagues insist on framing the conversation in these reductionist terms? I'm not going to allow Gloria to hijack our discussion about Vera. It's too easy. White women hijacked Vera's career. Fuck Gloria Mitchell.
Hold on to that thought. Let's roll footage.
I don't mean to stir the pot. Over the years, you've brought so many delightful characters, and I, for one, am a huge fan of the Belle of New Orleans, and I can't imagine it any other way.
Thank you.
We don't have much time left, and I know this has been a very emotional reunion.
I'm still in shock. You can't do these sort of things to a woman my age.
I wanted to ask you one final question. You've both had really interesting and varied careers. Gloria, you were one of the biggest and brightest stars in Hollywood. And Vera, well, you lit up scenes with your memorable, sassy presence. I wanted to...
Can I share a terrible secret with the audience?
Gloria,
No, let me finish.
what are...
I wasn't going to share this, but the moment seems right.
Honey, here, now, if you
No, let me. I've been hesitant to say this for a long time, and I think I owed my fans and everyone here the truth. I am formally retiring from acting. Yes. And I wanted to say here on live television that I owe a great deal to this marvelous woman. Vera, I know I should have told you that years ago.
Oh, stop the theatrics. You're not auditioning for anything.
I beg your pardon.
Boating on the bayou? Retiring? You couldn't give up acting if your life depended on it. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you two are talking about.
I mean it, Vera. I've always envied her talent and drive.
My talent? What has all of my enviable talent given me? Mammy Jane, Josie, Bitsy, Petunia, and Addie, 40 years of characters who didn't even bother to give last names. That's something to celebrate, honey.
Oh, don't be so droll.
You know, you've had a wonderfully perfect career. So I'd rather you didn't talk to me about envy. Not now and not ever.
Gloria, I read somewhere that you.
It's me you're talking to, honey.
Oh, Vera, Vera, Vera.
Oh, calm yourself, you spoiled, pampered, rotten potato. And I've wanted to say that for a long time.
Rotten potato. What the hell does that mean?
Oh, you know what it means, Gloria.
Really?
Really.
Gloria, Vera, when you two were,
You have no idea what it was like for me.
No idea what it was like for me.
I do. Don't forget, I was there. But you could have.
Don't you dare say it.
I was.
America's little sweetie pie. I cleaned up after you, didn't I? Just quietly watched you do what you had to do. And I know what you did, honey.
You.
But I didn't say anything. Waiting. Hoping that you
better be careful.
Your success mean the world to me, but never once did you turn your back around to consider the rest of us.
You are out of line. Stop it. If you say one more word, you hypocrite, I swear I will.
What?
ladies, why don't we sit down?
I don't know what you two old birds are fighting about, but this is trippy.
Have a seat. Find my place. Have a seat, ladies. I was about to throw in the towel. When you were making the Belle of New Orleans, did you have any idea of the impact that it would have on audiences?
It was a great script. I knew it the first time I read it. I couldn't put it down.
And you, Vera?
How could we know? How could we? But it's funny. I played the role of Tilly, a slave woman bound to her mistress. And here, after all these years later, I find myself bound to Tilly, a slave woman. I wish I could shake that silly little wrench out of me. But here we are nearly 40 years later, still answering questions about that picture. I've lived a lifetime since I've made it. But Tilly is my shame and my glory. She birthed me into a career. Perhaps I had to play her to get where I am. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, darling. If people only knew what it was like at the beginning.
They wouldn't believe you if you told them.
Forgive me, Vera.
For what, honey?
Oh, for not being in better touch. For taking you for granted all these years. I wish things had, well, I missed you terribly.
Yes. Well, life.
And on that poignant note, it's that time again. I'd like to thank my guests, Peter Reese Davies, Vera Stark, and Gloria Mitchell.
And the footage ends there. Thoughts?
Bottom line, Vera made a film that still draws huge ratings when it's broadcast on television. A film that occasionally makes me cringe when I see it, but I will confess that every time Vera appears on the screen, I get giddy. I get excited. Why?
Clearly, because
Because she was, and because when I watch Vera act, I'm watching a young woman, an artist grappling with representations of self. Who am I? Who am I?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Vera may have been a promising actress, but over the years, she has presented such a contradictory narrative of self. It's hard to say who she really was because
Yes. But Vera believed that she was breathing fresh life into painful stereotypes. But ultimately, she was denied agency.
even so, the Vera I know was aiding and abetting Hollywood's distortion of history.
Yo, my girl battled writers, producers, directors who had no clue and little interest in who she was.
Okay, we all agree Vera was simply breathtaking in The Belle of New Orleans, but ultimately she still was just another shucking, jiving, bumbling, mumbling, laughing, shuffling, pancake making mammy in the kitchen.
Stop. No. My girl may have been many things, but she refused to be reduced to an image on the screen.
Theories, rumors, conjecture. I don't give a goddamn. The images remain problematic, and those images are indelible. And they can't simply be apologized away.
But we had to actively engage with them, listen to them, and understand why they exist. And perhaps what the performer was attempting to tell us was about the ethos of the time.
Miss Marie, talk to me. Miss Marie, oh Lordy, Miss, please don't down me. You can't leave me. What will Tilly do without her Miss? You remember when we was youngest running barefoot in the backyard and you done found that wounded bird and Mammy said, let it die? But you taught that poor thing to fly again. Well, you that bird. And I ain't gonna let you go without a fight. Fight!
She was interrogating the medium from the inside.
Yes, but remember, she was also fragile, human, and an actress playing a role. Are we demanding too much of her?
What happened to Vera Stark? In the words of that wise old sage, Granford Ellis, history is a question constantly being rephrased.
I have no more fight, Tilly.
No, cut.
I ain't gonna let you go. Don't die, Miss. Don't die. You the onlyest thing I's got, Miss Marie.
Cut. What is happening? This is no good, ladies. Please step out for camera adjustment. Ladies.
Come on, let's run lines.
Hey, Vera, you remember that place in Brooklyn?
Which one?
The rundown joint where the guy who owned it was always drunk and wanted you to play his organ?
Yeah, I remember. Did you ever play it?
They're a shame. You know I didn't learn to play the organ until I was much older.
What made you think of that?
I was just thinking, what if, that's all, what if? You know? What if we'd stayed back in Brooklyn with Granny and the whole crew, you know? Funny how things work out.
Ain't it? Honey, can I ask you something?
Sure, sugar. What is it?
You know, at the end of the scene,
Yes.
you know where you say, I'm free, Tilly? Well, I'm having trouble. I can't find that last line, and I was thinking, and I know Maximilian has told us millions of times that the moment is about being freed from life and its burdens, but it seems,
What?
well, what if in that moment Marie is sharing with Tilly what it means to be free from slavery? You know, free.
Yes, I see, but isn't that moment about Marie?
Yes, Maria is finally liberated, and she's telling Tilly for the first time what it means to be free of prejudice, truly free.
For God's sakes, how will anybody know that?
We will.
Yes, I like that. I'm free, Tilly. I'm free. Yes. I'm free, Tilly. I'm free.
Stay awake, and together we'll face a new day.
Ladies, are ready? Sound, camera, action.
Curtain. End of play. Yay.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you. Great job, guys.
Great play. Glad I read this one.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
There's
Wonderful
some good
play.
monologues in there.
And it's not one of hers that got a lot of recognition.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, really,
I
really.
think-
In a movie.
I think it should be done again right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Well, I mean, we're not having theater now, but you know what I meant.
Right, but we are doing it right now. We just did it. So yay for us.
Well, yes.
So that's good. And yay for you guys. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Lana.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you,
Marlena.
Maria Lana.
Marlena.